Hey everyone, and welcome to the show. You know, sometimes you read a book and right from the start, it grabs you by the throat and you just can't put it down. That's how I felt with this one.
Oh, I know that feeling. Which book are we diving into today?
We're going deep into the dark heart of the Texas borderlands in the early 1900s.
Oh, wow. What is it about?
It's called The White Country by Boston Teran. And I have to warn you, it's brutal, it's unflinching, but man, is it ever gripping.
So is it like a historical account or more like fiction?
It's historical fiction with a big dose of Western thriller. Think Cormac McCarthy meets, I don't know, maybe some No Country for Old Men vibes.
Oh, I'm intrigued already. A thriller set in the early 20th century. That's got to be pretty unique.
It really is. And the Amazon link is in the show notes if you want to check it out. But before we get too deep, make sure you like and subscribe if you love digging into forgotten histories and stories that really make you think. Okay, so right off the bat, we're thrown into this world of, well, relentless pursuit.
Okay, so like a chase or...
Yeah, exactly. John Lourdes, he's our main character, and he's wanted for killing, wait for it, 5 Texas Rangers.
Whoa, hold on. 5. That's a lot. Why did he kill 5 Texas Rangers?
That's part of the mystery, but he also killed 2 Big Medicine Corporation employees. It doesn't really say why yet.
Big Medicine Corporation, that sounds like...
Yeah, it's kind of this huge, powerful landowning company.
Ah, okay.
So they're after him, and it sounds like he's wounded and on the run. But then we cut to El Paso, and we meet this totally different character, Wadsworth Burr.
Okay, and who is he, this Wadsworth guy?
He's like the opposite of Lourdes, you know. He's disbarred, but he was once this powerful lawyer from a wealthy family living in a mansion in this super elite part of town. It says he was observing El Paso from his mansion in this Satterwhite edition.
So right away we see this stark contrast between the haves and the have-nots.
Exactly. It's setting up this world of like deep inequality and tension.
I see. It's like setting the stage for us to think about those times.
Yep. Okay, then we're taken to this place called Santo Tomas.
Santo Tomas, where's that?
It's this little community close to the Rio Grande. It's mostly Mexican miners, water peddlers, mule drivers, that kind of thing.
Okay. I'm already getting the sense that this border region is going to be super important in this story.
Oh, absolutely. Because Santo Tomas, it's not just a place, right? It's like a symbol or a microcosm of the whole border situation.
Yeah.
A lot of the people there have close ties to these powerful Mexican figures like revolutionaries or activists who are on the run. And they use Santo Tomas as a crossing point for information, you know.
Oh, that's fascinating. So this little town is like a hotbed of political intrigue.
Exactly. It says that they were writing about the mistreatment of non-whites by Americans, too.
Right, right. So it's not just hiding, it's actively pushing back against the status quo.
It is. It's resistance. And to really show us how personal all this is, we get this scene with a mining company doctor. He's caring for this laboring Mexican woman.
Oh, wow.
And in the next room, her husband is writing this fiery editorial for La Cronica.
Wait, La Cronica, isn't that the newspaper that...
Yep. The one run by Senor Barros and his daughter.
So even as his wife is giving birth, this guy's focused on exposing the gringo corruption he's witnessed. It's intense.
It shows just how much these political issues were woven into the fabric of everyday life.
Defna.
Then things get dark. Really dark.
How so?
These armed men show up, and they confront the doctor and this guy named Porta.
And who are these guys?
One of them, he's wearing a hood.
A hood, like a vigilante.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
And he makes this chilling comment about the Second Amendment, as if he's, you know, justifying something terrible.
Oh, that's creepy. The Second Amendment and a hooded figure. I don't like where this is going.
You're right to feel uneasy,
Uh-huh.
because what happens next is just brutal. They take the pregnant woman,
What? They just take her?
they drag her away naked, screaming, while Porta's begging them to stop. And they're talking about taking her across the border to have the baby on Mexican soil.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Dehumanizing. Just awful.
It's monstrous. And this whole time, the hooded man is just standing there watching. The book describes him as a reckoning judge with these, like, ink-like tears on his hood.
Oh, that's a vivid image. Terrifying.
Yeah, it's hard to forget. And then, right before they leave, the hooded man says to the doctor, "If I had planned to kill you, I would never have covered my face."
Whoa. That's messed up on so many levels. It's psychological torture, too.
Totally. It's like he wants the doctor to live with this fear, you know. Okay, so shift in focus. We jump to John Lourdes, who's waking up after a night of heavy drinking. He's clearly a mess.
So we're back to Lourdes. Okay. Still a mystery why he killed those people, though.
Right. But we're getting there. So he's hungover. The woman he was with is gone. And then she comes back in, and she's freaking out about a letter.
A letter? Like, why? What's so scary about a letter?
This letter has the seal of the Jesuit Society
Right.
and the Catholic Church seal, too.
Whoa. That's heavy. And she's scared for him to open it.
She's terrified. She's begging him not to open it. And he's, like, confused. But you can tell there's something about this letter that's deeply unsettling to him.
The Jesuit Society. You know, they're known for their knowledge, their involvement in all sorts of things.
Exactly. So we're left wondering, what's in that letter? What's Lourdes' connection to the church? And how does this all tie back to the killings and everything else going on?
Right. Like, how is he going to deal with this?
Well, that's when Lourdes goes to see a priest.
Mm.
And this priest, he knows things about Lourdes. Like, he knows how old he is. He knows he's not really Catholic anymore. And he even knows about Lourdes bringing his own father to justice.
Oh, man. Talk about bringing up the past.
Right. It's super awkward. And Lourdes is like, how the heck do you know all this?
I bet there's more to this priest than meets the eye.
Oh, there definitely is.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get to that, remember Wadsworth Murrah, the wealthy guy?
Yeah. The one who was watching from his mansion.
Right. So Lourdes goes to meet him in secret. And Burr drops this bombshell. Lourdes' mom was a Mexican immigrant. And his dad was this infamous gunman named Rawbone.
No way. So Lourdes isn't just some random American guy. He's got this deep connection to the Borderlands.
Exactly. And get this. Lourdes' dad, Rawbone, was killed by his own son, by Lourdes.
Whoa! That's a lot to take in. So he killed his own father, and he's been hiding that this whole time.
Yep. He even changed his name to hide his past. Even the Bureau of Investigation doesn't know who he really is. And Burr, well, he was friends with Rawbone. He's like Lourdes' godfather.
Man, this is getting complicated.
It is. And Burr, he kind of lays out what's happening in this whole border region, you know, all the poverty and chaos in Mexico. People are desperate, so they're coming across the border. And then on this side, you've got this intense racism towards Mexicans, especially anyone who's mixed race.
It's like all these forces colliding.
It is.
Right.
And it's breeding violence. And then Burr introduces us to this group called the Society. They're also known as SCAR.
SCAR. What's that stand for?
It doesn't really say, but they're this vigilante group, and they're terrifying. Everyone's scared of them.
Mm.
And there's a strong suggestion that they're the ones who murdered the pregnant woman and her husband. Remember, the journalist.
Oh, man. So they're like the face of this whole racist, violent movement?
Basically, they think they're above the law. They do whatever they want.
That's scary.
And the violence just keeps escalating. We get this really graphic scene where Lourdes kills this guy who's on fire. He's like begging for death, and Lourdes just puts him out of his misery.
Man, it's like even acts of mercy are twisted in this world.
Yeah, it's really bleak. And then we learn about Burr. He's got this whole morphine addiction.
Morphine, huh? Makes sense why he's a little off, I guess.
Yeah, it's like he's this brilliant guy, but he's battling his own demons. But the thing is, he also used to fight against anti-Chinese laws back in the day.
Wait, really? That's interesting. It's like he's got this weird mix of good and bad in him.
Totally. He's a walking contradiction. But even with the morphine, he's still considered trustworthy in tough situations. Like, he's the one who sets up this whole secret communication chain involving a Jesuit priest to get information about Lourdes to the Bureau. It's all very hush-hush.
Whoa. So even the Bureau's getting involved, but they have to be super careful.
Yeah, it's like they're walking on eggshells. Okay, now Lourdes, he's on this train, right? And it's supposed to be like a normal journey, but then suddenly, bam, a whole convoy carrying a Mexican general, his family, they all pile onto the train.
What? Why the sudden change?
They were attacked, so they need to get out fast. It's chaos.
So right away, the violence from Mexico spills into the story directly. It's not just some distant thing.
Exactly. And on that same train, there are these three, like, rough-looking young guys. They're heading to Big Medicine for a rally.
A rally at Big Medicine? What kind of rally?
The speaker is this Dr. English. He's kind of a big deal, but he's got a shady past. He used to work at leper colonies. It's all pretty suspicious.
Yeah, I remember him. The guy who might be more than one person, right? This Whiteman.
That's the one. So anyway, the train ends up getting wrecked.
Oh, no. What happened?
It doesn't say exactly, but there's a lot of commotion. People are hurt. And Lourdes, he finds the general's son who's wounded. And then he sees this guy, Cager. He's another passenger. And he's about to kill the boy.
What? Why would he do that?
Out of pure racism. He's just like filled with hate for Mexicans. But Lourdes stops him. He talks him down.
Okay, so even amidst the chaos, we see Lourdes' humanity. He steps in to protect the innocent.
Exactly. He's not just a cold-blooded killer, right? There's more to him.
So the train's wrecked, but Lourdes survives.
He does. He ends up in Laredo, and it's pouring rain. And he runs into this Mexican guy, a freighter, who mentions a funeral. It's all very ominous.
A funeral, huh? Is that for the people who were murdered?
It's for the pregnant woman, the journalist, and their unborn child.
Oh, man. It's like the violence is spreading, casting a shadow over everything.
It is. And this funeral becomes a huge event. It's held at St. Augustine Church, which is in this kind of well-to-do area of Laredo. Both Anglos and Mexicans live there.
So it's not, like, segregated.
Not in that specific area. But the procession route is really interesting. It goes up Flores Street, which connects the Anglo and Mexican parts of the city.
Oh, so it's like a symbolic gesture of unity.
That's what it seems like, a challenge to the segregation.
Yeah.
And of course, it's also super risky, because there are rumors that the Whiteman is going to show up at the funeral.
No way. So even in death, these people aren't safe from this threat.
Right. It's like the hatred is never ending.
Yeah.
Okay, so picture this. The hearse, it's got glass sides, so you can see the coffins inside.
Oh, wow. That's unusual.
It is. And there are two coffins, one for the mother, one for the unborn child. It says the child's coffin is tiny and wrapped in gold swaddling.
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah. And then there are all these women in the procession, carrying signs, advocating for compassion and justice. It's this powerful image of peaceful protest.
But I'm guessing it doesn't stay peaceful for long.
You're right. First, there's this really shocking act of public indecency directed at Meresita Barros. Just awful.
Oh, man. She just can't catch a break.
No, you can't. And then out of nowhere, these hooded horsemen on horseback, they surround the hearse. It's completely silent, but everyone's terrified.
Oh, God. It's the vigilantes, isn't it?
Yeah. And then, without warning, they just open fire on the hearse.
They shot at the hearse with the coffins inside.
Yes. It's horrific. People are screaming, running for cover. There are casualties. It's just chaos.
That's just beyond words.
It is. But then, in the middle of all this, Meresita, she steps forward, right there at the intersection of Flores and Houston streets, and she starts speaking.
What? She just starts speaking?
Yeah, with all these Texas Rangers around trying to shut her up. She's like, what about the First Amendment, huh? He calls them out. She's like, you guys are waving the flag and talking about freedom, but where's the freedom for these people? For us?
That's brave. Talk about standing up for what you believe in.
I know, right? It's an incredible moment. Okay, so after all that, we follow Lourdes as he goes to La Crónica to meet with the Barros family.
So he's making contact, but what for?
It's not totally clear yet, but right away, there's tension between Meresita and her dad, Eduardo.
Yeah.
You can tell she's got this strong will, she's a journalist, and she's not afraid to speak her mind. But Eduardo, he's worried about her safety.
I bet. Especially after everything that's happened.
Yeah, and Eduardo says something really poignant. He says he fears for his daughter's safety more than he would a son's.
Oh, wow. That really highlights the specific danger women faced back then, especially when they dared to speak out.
Absolutely. It shows how much harder they had to fight for their voices to be heard. And then, as if things weren't complicated enough, Lourdes shows up at their house. At night.
What? He just shows up unannounced.
Yeah, he appears in their garden like a ghost. He's been watching them. He says they're in danger and that he was sent by Father Pinto.
Okay, now I'm really confused. What's his game?
Right. We're trying to figure that out, too. But he does something really chilling. He asks for a list of everyone who's been threatened by the Whiteman.
Why? What's he planning to do with that?
He says he's going to start killing folks to draw the Whiteman out.
Oh, God. It sounds like he's going to start a war.
It does. And Meresita, she's definitely not on board with this whole killing spree idea. She's uneasy, and rightly so.
Yeah, who wouldn't be? It's terrifying, and it's morally questionable.
Totally. But while all this is going on, we cut to another scene with the photographer, Vargas. Remember him?
Oh, yeah, the guy who was taking pictures of the unrest. I bet he's on the Whiteman's list.
You bet he is. So these hooded figures show up at his house. And one of them, he has that white hood with the ink stains, the same one from Santo Tomas.
Oh, no, not those guys again.
Yep. And they do this really disturbing thing. They force Vargas to strip naked, and they want to take pictures of him with a skull and a rattlesnake.
What? That's just sick.
It's psychological torture, plain and simple. And they taunt him about his heritage, like trying to break him.
This white man and this society, they're pure evil.
Yeah, they're pretty terrifying. And Lourdes, he's watching all of this unfold. He sees the danger that the Barros family is in, And he's also starting to think someone's following him. It's getting really paranoid.
So he's like in the middle of all this, trying to protect them, but also looking over his own shoulder. That's intense.
It is. And in a moment of trust, Meresita shows Lourdes her father's writings. It's like she's trying to give him a glimpse into their world, into their fight.
She's taken a big risk, trusting him with that.
She is, but she's also a strong, independent woman, you know. She tells Lourdes about this defining moment when she came back from Mexico after teaching there. Her mother was sick, and her father was waiting for her at the border.
It's like even amidst all this chaos, there are these moments of deep love and family connection.
Exactly. It makes the fight even more personal, doesn't it?
It does.
And then the violence just comes crashing back in. Lourdes overhears these Texas Rangers outside a ranch yelling at a guy in Spanish, demanding he comes out. And then there's this attack. It sounds brutal, like they used fire or something.
It's like no matter where you turn, there's danger and brutality.
It's relentless.
Mm-hmm.
But Meresita, even with all of this going on, she keeps speaking out. She gives these public talks, advocating for understanding, for people to challenge their own traditional views.
She's incredibly brave. Like every time you think she's going to back down, she gets even more outspoken.
Right. She's a force to be reckoned with. Okay, so then, late one night, Lourdes goes back to the Barces' house. It's secretive, hushed. And he tells Meresita, he says, I more than heard about the murdered Rangers.
Oh, wow. He's basically admitting to being involved, but is he confessing or threatening?
It's hard to tell. He's really cryptic. He says he's setting something in motion, but he begs them to stay out of it. And he tells her he was there that day at the funeral procession.
So he is watching them, protecting them in a way. But how can they stay out of it when he's dragging them further and further in?
I know, right? It's this weird push and pull. But then he does something really intense. He shows her 3 Texas Ranger badges.
Oh my God, it's like a silent confession.
It is. And it's so dangerous. What if someone sees them?
I know, it's a huge risk.
Yeah.
It's like he's saying, I trust you with this, but it could cost us both everything.
Exactly. And Eduardo, he's not blind to what's going on. He sees that something's up between Meresita and Lourdes. He confronts her, and he makes it clear he doesn't trust Lourdes. Not one bit.
Of course not. He sees Lourdes as a threat to his daughter, and he's probably right to be suspicious.
Yeah. He's trying to protect his family like any father would.
Okay, so what happens next? Does the tension just keep building?
Oh, it does. But then there's this weird, almost funny scene.
A funny scene in the middle of all this darkness.
Yeah, it's kind of dark humor. So at Lourdes' hotel, this woman shows up. She's naked, drunk, and she mistakes him for someone named Mr. Lord.
Okay, what? It's bizarre.
It is. And she's like inviting him to this rally at Big Medicine. And she mentions that the Barros family told her about what Lourdes did on the train, about saving those Anglos.
Oh, so now everyone's talking about him, but not necessarily for the right reasons?
Right. It's like this weird, distorted version of his actions is spreading.
It seems like nothing stays a secret for long in this town.
No, it doesn't. Okay, so then we get this really creepy thing. A wicker picnic basket shows up at the Laredo Weekly Times. Nobody knows where it came from.
The picnic basket, huh? That's a weird random detail.
It is. But then at the Times, things go haywire. There's this public exhibit, and the Rangers just go nuts. They start attacking people.
What was the exhibit about?
It involved a dead rattlesnake, which is obviously a symbol for the Whiteman, and some photos related to the murdered Rangers.
Oh, man, talk about poking the bear.
I know, right? So the Rangers, they're furious. They confiscate everything. They arrest Eduardo Barros for not handing over his negatives and prints. It's a total power play.
Yeah, classic silencing the press. But they're not backing down.
No way. Meresita and her dad, they're tough.
Okay, so what about Lourdes? What's he up to while all this is going down?
He's actually with Cager, driving towards Big Medicine. It's a long, dangerous trip. But remember Cager, he's got this creepy side.
Yeah.
And he just casually makes this comment about Parmelia being low-hanging fruit.
Oh, God. That's just so disgusting.
Yeah, it's a reminder of how women are viewed in this society. And Lourdes, he sees the Rangers mistreating Meresita and her father. It just reinforces how dangerous the situation is.
It's like every step they take, the stakes get higher and the danger gets more real.
It's true. Okay, so they're driving right, middle of the night, and bam, they're ambushed by these guys on horseback.
Oh, no. Are they the hooded figures?
Yeah, it's those guys. They tie up Lourdes and Cager, and they're questioning this Mexican guy they've got captive. They're trying to figure out who Lourdes and Cager are.
So anyone can become a target, just like that. It's terrifying.
Totally. But Lourdes, he thinks fast. He says the Mexican guy works for big medicine. It's risky, but he's trying to protect him.
Wow, that's quick thinking. But what about Cager?
Cager, he tries to play on their prejudices. He's like, oh, Lourdes is the hero. He saved a bunch of white people on a train. It's pathetic, but it might just work.
Yeah, playing to their racism to save their own skins, that's dark.
It is. Meanwhile, back in Laredo, the racism is just out in the open. There's this scene at the hotel, and these guys are just casually making racist jokes about Mexicans after the whole Times incident.
It's like they don't even try to hide it. It's just part of their everyday conversation.
Yeah, it's normalized. And then Sheriff Rueda shows up at the Barros house with his wife late at night.
Oh, man, that can't be good.
No, it's not. They're worried about Captain Asa. He's coming to town. And they're asking pointed questions about the Mexican man who's been visiting the Barros family.
They're talking about Lourdes, aren't they?
Yep, they're onto him.
So the pressure's on, but are the Ruedas, like, on their side, or...?
It's hard to say. Billin, the sheriff's wife, she reads Maricita's article, and you can tell she's impressed by her bravery, but also scared.
It's like everyone's caught in the middle of this.
Exactly. Okay, so remember Cager?
How could I forget? The creepy guy.
So we're reminded just how messed up he is when he confesses to digging up a dead body just to steal the clothes.
Oh, God. That's beyond messed up. It's inhumane.
I know. And then he and Lourdes finally arrive at Big Medicine. This place is huge, like a small town with guards everywhere. Lourdes is certain that the white man is here, and he thinks it's Captain Asa. He calls him the Christian Wolf.
The Christian Wolf. Wow, that's quite the nickname.
It is. And it shows just how much Lourdes hates this guy. Cager, on the other hand, he's just focused on the reward money for the ranger killer. He doesn't care about justice or any of that.
Typical Cager, only thinking about himself.
Yeah. So the rally begins, and they have this crazy sound system, these things called enunciators, that amplify the speaker's voice.
Wow, they had technology like that back then.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And everyone's singing patriotic songs, like putting on this show of unity and American spirit. But Lourdes, he sees right through it. He sees the hate simmering underneath.
It's like a facade of patriotism masking something much darker.
Exactly. And then Dr. English takes the stage. He's the leader of the society, the big bad wolf himself.
Oh, this is it. This is the moment we've been waiting for.
It is. And his speech is just full of hate. He's blaming Mexicans for everything, for leprosy, for smuggling, for the fact that some white people are poor.
It's classic scapegoating, right? Blaming a whole group of people for society's problems.
Yep. And he goes on about the instability in Mexico, how all these Mexicans are going to flood across the border. It's designed to scare people.
It's a dangerous and effective tactic.
It is. Meanwhile, Captain Asa, he's giving one of the society members a letter. He says, carry this for protection.
Oh, what's that about?
It's not clear. It could be some kind of authority symbol or maybe a way to identify themselves.
It sounds ominous, that's for sure.
It is. And then we see Captain Asa interrogating this Mexican guy. The guy's defiant, but they beat him anyway.
It's like they don't even care about justice or due process. They just want to exert their power.
Yeah, it's brutal. And as if that wasn't bad enough, later on, there's this scene on the road where these guys in a truck are harassing a young Mexican woman. It's just another example of the constant threat of violence.
It's like even existing as a Mexican is dangerous in this place.
Yeah, it's really unsettling. Lourdes goes back to his hotel room, and he's remembering something his father told him. The cure is in the killing.
Oh, man. That's a dark thought to be dwelling on.
I know. It shows how deeply the violence has affected him. And then he gets this note telling him to go to a certain address right away.
I bet it's Maricita.
You're right. It is Maricita. They meet at this little house, and Lourdes confesses to her. He tells her he helped kill a man that day, and he says something really heavy. I saw the future today, and it was as inspiring as it was unsettling.
Whoa. It's like he's starting to see the bigger picture, but it's not a pretty picture?
Yeah. No, it's not. And then Maricita drops a bomb on him. She tells him that Father Pinto and the Bureau, they know everything about him. They know about his father, and they're using him.
Oh, man. Talk about betrayal.
I know, right? And right at that moment, Eduardo shows up. He's angry. He overheard them talking before, and he doesn't trust Lourdes. He's like, what are you doing with my daughter?
He's being a protective father, even though he probably knows he can't really stop them.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. And then things get really gruesome again. Lourdes comes across the scene of another attack. This time, it's a group of riders who've been ambushed. One of them is still alive, begging to be killed. They're out of ammo. So Lourdes, he does it.
Oh, God. It's like even when he tries to do the right thing, it ends in violence.
Yeah. And he keeps moving, traveling across this vast, big medicine land. He sees them burning the prairie, exploiting the Mexican workers. And then, at a ranchero, he hears the sounds of violence, then silence. Another massacre.
It's like a disease, this violence. It's just spreading everywhere.
It is. And Lourdes, he knows he can't stop it. But he's trying to, make a dent in it. So he rides towards the big medicine main house. This place is like a fortress. Floodlights, machine guns, guards everywhere. Cager's there, acting all casual, but the tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife.
It's like walking into the lion's den.
It is.
Yeah.
Cager tells Captain Asa that Lourdes was in a shootout with some bandits.
Trying to make Lourdes look good, huh?
Yeah, but Captain Asa's not buying it. Lourdes tries to give him the possessions of the guys he killed, but Asa just scoffs. He's like, these don't belong to men of thought.
Ugh, such arrogance. And it's dehumanizing, too, refusing to even acknowledge the dead.
Totally. And right then, a reporter shows up.
A reporter, huh? Now things are getting interesting.
It is. And just as the reporter gets there, news breaks that Charles Bucky Warren is dead. He was one of the Rangers who was killed.
Oh, wow. So now it's public, the media's involved, things are going to escalate quickly.
They are. And Captain Asa, he just loses it. He breaks down, crying over Warren's.